So we're here with AJ Wilcox. He's the CEO of Be2Linked. He is the #1 expert in not Facebook ads. I almost said that. LinkedIn ads.
Definitely not Facebook ads.
You want to follow this guy, and AJ's going to tell you what you need to know about LinkedIn. What do people need to know about LinkedIn ads?
Well, I think the whole world has been super hot on Facebook ads for a long time, and it's for great reason. I mean, it started out inexpensive, lots of people coming in and having quick wins, and it's just great technology. But one thing you need to know about LinkedIn ads is the costs have not changed. So at least in the last 4 years. So while we see every single quarter Facebook ads CPMs going up by triple-digit percentages, LinkedIn ads for the last 4 years has been in the $6 to $9 per click range, and that's pretty incredible. More and more people are going on to LinkedIn organically because they're having success there, and it's creating a whole bunch more ad inventory, keeping prices the same. So even as more competition has come in for ads, we're seeing prices stay about the same. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the success that you see on people using LinkedIn ads.
Well, LinkedIn ads are amazing for the lead quality. So usually what we see is, sure, Facebook ads are for sure less expensive. So your initial cost per conversion is going to be lower there. But when you're comparing Facebook and LinkedIn conversions, because your targeting was so much more specific on LinkedIn, the targeting was cleaner, generally that gives you a higher quality lead. And so if you're tracking all the way down to like a sales qualified lead or a cost per proposal, oftentimes LinkedIn pulls way ahead and starts to look really good. But you've got to be a pretty sophisticated marketer to actually be tracking it down. So not everyone is. It's a big opportunity for you.
So do you see this as mainly a B2B opportunity?
Mostly B2B. There are some interesting B2C opportunities on LinkedIn. Recruiting is always a big one. That's technically B2C, but you target by job title.
Right.
There's higher ed, like MBA program recruiting still works really well. There is financial services that's technically B2C. So all of those tend to work really well. The one thing they all have in common is large customer value.
Mm-hmm. So what's the coolest hack right now for LinkedIn ads?
Ooh.
What do people need to know?
The coolest hack is actually still the same one that's been around for like the last 6 years. And that is, if you can create an ad that gets over 3 times the benchmark CTR, it is cheaper to bid by the impression than it is by the click. So LinkedIn's bidding algorithm is inherently very imbalanced. Whereas on Facebook, when you bid by the impression, it's generally a better deal than bidding by the click. Mm-hmm. On LinkedIn, it's opposite. So we always tell people, start bidding by the click. Then as soon as you see your click-through rates on sponsored content go over about 1%, that's when it becomes cheaper to bid CPM. So we've had ads where the ad itself is better converting, but it gets a lower CTR. And so we find that if we run another ad that gets a higher CTR, even though it doesn't produce the same conversion rate, we can get the cost per click down $2 or $3. And then when you're doing the math, you're realizing you're bringing a lot more leads in, even on a less superior ad.
So the cost per lead or cost per conversion going down, is that mainly because the cost per click is going down?
Yes.
So do you see conversion quality decreasing at all with your bid strategy?
So we have a client right now where the offer is so good it converts at about 55%, which is incredible.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. We love it. But the company's right now telling us we're having a hard time closing these leads. The offer is so irresistible. Of course, everyone wants it.
Right.
But even though half of everyone is willing to give you their email address, it doesn't mean that they're actually qualified to be talking to sales.
Yeah. So how do you get quality on LinkedIn besides targeting and good content? Because the algorithm isn't able to seek for conversion right now, right? There's not OCPM?
There's not OCPM. There is a conversion optimization objective and a checkbox. But we're talking about LinkedIn's data set here, and they're looking over, they've only had a conversion pixel for like 2 years, and so they're looking at the conversion pixel data that not even everyone has implemented correctly, and they're trying to use that to determine who's going to convert on your ads, and I just don't trust their data yet.
Right.
Facebook, I absolutely do trust. The other thing is they're using the same algorithms as Facebook, where you need 50 conversions a week for the machine learning to work properly, and I can count on one hand the number of advertisers who are spending enough on LinkedIn to actually get 50 conversions per week.
So what do you do if you don't have enough data on LinkedIn?
You hyper-target. That's what it is. It's every single, if you tighten your targeting so well that every single lead, every single click is a great potential lead for you, then that's your answer. Like, if your content is good and you're targeting the right people, lead quality is going to be there.
So people that are starting, how do they approach a test? Like, how much money should they commit? How long should it take? What kind of content do they need? How do they not look like an idiot if they're starting with LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Like, you're the pro, but let's say someone listening here is just getting going. What do they do?
I think you have to start with the offer, because we know if you put an ad out there on LinkedIn that just says, here's what we do, click here to talk to our sales rep, no one will have any sort of incentive to click. The clicks that you do get will cost a lot, and your conversion rates are going to be really low. Results won't be good. But if you can come up with that really irresistible piece of content, we see free checklists and cheat sheets, guides, free in-person events, ebooks, all of those things tend to work really well. If you can come up with that's actually enticing to make someone want to give you their email address, that's how you win.
Yeah.
And the piece of content, that one offer,
Yeah.
it's the difference between having a 10% conversion rate and paying $70 per conversion, or a 20% conversion rate and having a $25 cost per conversion, a $30 cost per conversion. So your offer, it means everything to begin with.
Offers everything. What do you see as the biggest mistakes for people running LinkedIn ads?
I hate to say this because I really do like LinkedIn, but if you follow their recommendations when you build a campaign, you will absolutely spend too much. There are 3 options that they tick by default. Number 1 is audience expansion, and that's, if I have a limited budget going to LinkedIn, why wouldn't I want to spend all of that budget on the exact audience that I chose? Audience expansion just muddies your audience. So uncheck that by default. The second one is the bid. It will start you on automated bidding, but automated bidding is based on machine learning, and it needs to, if you don't have history, it needs to bid really high to start to understand. So we have people coming to me all the time saying, I'm getting like $25, $50 costs per click on LinkedIn. And so disable that, switch immediately to CPC. And then the third thing is, once you choose a max CPC as your bid, it'll tell you, here's what you should be bidding, and here's the range that other advertisers like you are in, and the range is way too high. If you're coming to if you're coming to the platform with like a $3K or a $5K budget, you can spend that on minimum bids on an audience that you want to go after. Usually it's like your ideal audience. So you don't need to bid aggressively like the Fortune 500 would need to. You just don't need to. So start out at very low bids, and if you're not getting enough traffic there, start creeping them up, 25, 50 cents at a time.
Okay. Tell us about the course that you made on LinkedIn ads, Linda.
Oh yeah. So I was very grateful to be chosen by LinkedIn to create the course on LinkedIn ads on LinkedIn Learning. So it's a little bit meta. Yeah, it's super cool. The course, it really walks you through who should and shouldn't be advertising on LinkedIn, the basic strategies of how you have success, how to choose an offer that really is going to be irresistible, and because it's on lynda.com or linkedinlearning.com, it's free if you have like a pro profile of LinkedIn, or it's like $40. So super inexpensive. Anyone who wants to learn, go check it out.
All right. Top tips for organic postings on LinkedIn.
Ooh.
Why is organic so big?
Organic on LinkedIn is massive right now because it's unlike any other network out there. Every other network doesn't want your post to be seen by anyone, and for good reason. I mean, there's lots of stuff going on in people's news feeds. With LinkedIn, on the other hand, I think everyone is really afraid to hit the post button, because if you do something stupid, you're tripping up in front of your entire career relationships. And so I think people tend to be a little bit more conservative on LinkedIn. So what happens is it's an average of 3 to 4% of people on LinkedIn who actually post. So you have 100% of profiles that need content when they go to their newsfeed, and only 3% content to fill it. So what happens is anytime that someone hits like, comment, or share any sort of social action on your post, it then is a signal to LinkedIn that there's something interesting going on here. You should show it to that person's network. And so especially comments are the most powerful signal. If you can create a post that elicits a comment, if you're just saying like, hey, I want to hear your opinion, comment below, or what do you think, or have you had experiences like this? If you craft a post like that where people want to comment, it's the recipe for virality. I had a post last week. I only have about 5,500 followers on LinkedIn, which is really not a lot compared to a lot of people who may not curate their network as closely. The post got over 60,000 views, and it was awesome. All on comments. It actually had more comments than it had likes. So that's the goal. Find something that gets a comment.
And AJ, what are we doing here in Utah?
We are at the Utah DMC conference, which is awesome. Utah has a regional organization. It's a nonprofit to teach digital marketing, and it's called Utah Digital Marketing Collective. And we put on a big conference every year, and Dennis is freaking keynoting. Yeah.
Me and Neil Patel. Thank you, AJ.
Yes, Neil Patel, Susan Winograd, Michelle Morgan. I mean, we just have lots and lots of awesome people.
A players.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And the cost, I mean, even at like early bird was like $250. Even at, if you bought a ticket yesterday, it's sold out, so you can't. But if you did, it was like $500. You'd be hard pressed to find a conference with this level of speakers anywhere for less than like $1,200. So we're very proud of what we have here in Utah.
Amazing. You heard it from this guy. Where can they find you?
B2links.com. If you fill out the form